we'll go to day 7, which the only thing really on day 7 that I wanted to highlight, which actually goes into the conversation about who wasn't performing and hence why this person was able to win. So day 7, and I'm not saying that this person only won because of that. Please, don't take that as that. But day 7, Suni Lee wins the gold in the all around for women's gymnastics, which you'll see right here. She, her first ever win in an individual event in the Olympics for gold. So it's really cool. And what made way for that was the Simone Biles stepping away, which we kind of highlighted or referenced in the fourth or day 4, I should say, of the Olympics. But obviously really became a thing in day 5 when she officially announced that she was stepping away. But it did give way for a new person to win the all around, and that happened to be Suni Lee, which is awesome for her. So her first ever medal. And I think too that after the performance that the women's gymnastics teams had in this Olympics, every single person on the women's gymnastics team stepped away with a medal, which is really cool from the Olympics. So, whether it be team events, but it is still actually, sorry, Dylan, I know you just went to go find that picture. I want to break into that conversation about Simone Biles, because that's that's where I know our conversation is probably going to be for the next probably 10 minutes, because it's something that I want to talk about, because it was big news for, annoying reasons, of course, because people just complain to complain. So I don't know how much did you see of this drama, of the Simone Biles stuff?
0, I think.
Okay. So Simone Biles stepped away from the team on day 4 from the team competition, and we ended up with silver, losing to Russia for gold. People, of course, were pissed off because, of course, it's like, oh, we lost to the Russians, blah, 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 whatever kind of crap that people pull that are frustrated, that
Who are these people?
Just people on their couch.
Who's the overlap of people who care about this and the people that are that are mad?
I don't know. There's too many of them, and they're loud. Is basically what I'm getting at.
Just imagine some dude just being like, like I can't believe it. Like, how could we lose to gymnastics to Russia? Like, god damn it. But it's like,
I know
who's that guy?
I know, Dylan, but it's God, it's a conversation we gotta have because it happened.
Yeah.
So essentially, this whole conversation started because she decided to step away from the team then on day 4. Then day 5, where she was supposed to participate in individual performance, she ended up stepping away and announcing that she was stepping away from the events, or withdrawing from the events, and moving on to where, maybe she was going to perform in the Olympics again, maybe she wasn't. And when interviewed about it and asked about it, because of course she was one of the biggest names going into the Olympics, she basically cited that she didn't feel like the Olympics were going to be for her. And she's the one that made all this, made her way to the Olympics and put on all the time and effort and work into it. And she didn't feel like it was going to be any achievements or anything for her. And she wanted to do something for her, herself once. I want to say that I 100% support and understand that, because when you're an Olympic athlete, you have worked your entire life and done so many things. You've made so many sacrifices, and the motivations could be, a couple things. Could be that your family's driving you. Could be that yourself is, you're self-driving yourself to get there. Whatever it may be. But the point is that when you become as big as Simone Biles is, and everybody's looking at you as if like you need to go to the Olympics and win 6 gold medals, that's what needs to happen. And like if you do anything less, you're suddenly, people are going to talk about it. I fully understand her going like, listen, I want, like, this Olympics became more than or bigger than what it should be in just a single performer performing in the Olympics. It suddenly became this like thing where she had this expectation where it was literally perfection or failure. And you know what? She said, she was like, no, I'm not doing it. She stepped away, and rightfully so, took some time for herself. Because the other thing people too talked about, which me and my dad were talking about it, because I like mentioned it to him and was like, yeah, did you see that she's stepping away? And my dad was like, yeah, I don't know why they're giving her so much crap. And I was like, yeah, I completely agree. it's weird. And we were talking about, and even my dad agreed. We're like, gymnastics, the amount of things that she's attempting on a daily basis in these events are things that other gymnasts wouldn't even attempt because of the danger level and just the incredible difficulty that the moves basically need to in order to perform. And so if your mind is not 100% right and you're not 100% ready to go to perform these incredibly dangerous and precise movements and efforts, you should not perform because you are then in danger of injury, or even worse. So, especially an event where literally you're spinning and flipping through the air at a speed and, velocity that is just mind blowing. So, one false movement could mean the end of her career or even, the end of a person's life potentially in this type of setting. So, the fact that she decided to step away because not only was her mind not right, but she also didn't feel like she was performing and doing it for herself is completely understandable. And that's basically where I sit on the side of the conversation. And if you think that, as a viewer or a person out there, if anybody thinks that she should have performed or she should just get over it or whatever you want to say, you're wrong. And the reason why is because people are human beings and athletes are human beings. And human beings, tend to not be the type that some people don't deal with pressure well. Some people do deal with pressure well. Some people maybe, get stressed out from all of the pressure that the entire country is putting on them. So that is understandable if they decide to take a minute. I know there is times where I feel a lot of pressure or stress and I need to just take a minute. And I'm not an Olympic athlete where the entire country is going, you must be perfect or else we're all going to be disappointed in you. So I completely understand. And that's my take on that.
Yeah, I heard this story and I wanted to look it up to get my facts right, but this I think this was brought up. So maybe you know it, maybe somebody else knows it. Basically that this gymnast, a while ago, she basically she was doing a run, she was flipping everything that you're describing and twisting and doing all that stuff, and she straight up, she like destroyed her ankle. Do you know this story? Do you know what
I
this
do
is?
not, but it's not surprising.
Okay, this is apparently a really famous story that I didn't know. So I guess it's not as famous as I thought, but yeah, as an athlete, she destroyed, like literally shattered her ankle on in a bad land. And she still ran the next time, which she like waved off trainers and everything, and she ran full sprint with like no limp or anything, and on a shattered ankle, a destroyed ankle, and still did everything, still did her entire moves, flipped. She had the presence of mind to turn still on one leg after she landed towards the judges and everything, and then complete the
Yes.
motion and
Okay.
then collapsed. Who was it?
Sorry, no, I do know exactly what you're talking about. She's a gymnast for America. I can picture her in my mind. I can't remember what her name is. I can even picture
Carrie
like she's
Strug.
blonde haired. Yeah. I remember exactly who you're talking about because she landed on like she bounced up and landed on one foot, the opposite foot of the injury. And like you said, and even after that, did another bounce and faced the judges, which was just literally insane because I can't imagine doing any. We'll talk about another athlete
She
later
won
on that does
gold, by the
something
way.
incredible.
It wasn't
Huh?
just like a pity run. She won gold.
Yeah.
1996 at Atlanta.
Oh my god, just insane. What's the name of the athlete, by the way, so we can actually
Carrie
give her.
Strug.
Who is it?
Carrie Strug.
Okay,
Strug.
gotcha. Give her the credit she very much deserves because I sprained my knee and I was out for 6 weeks. So I
Yeah.
can't imagine what that is like to freaking shatter your ankle. Oh man, that reminds me of that's like the story of Donovan McNabb where he was in the NFC Championship, the quarterback for the Eagles at the time, and he shattered his ankle and played the rest of the NFC Championship on it, which is insane. That's like
Oh
those type
yeah.
of stories. I like, oh man, just the amount like people can say all I want at home while they're sitting on the bed, or sitting on the couch watching the Olympics. whatever it may be about, like, oh, suck it up, whatever, it's an injury, whatever, the injury is not that big, or whatever, it's the Olympics, you should just perform. In any competition or any capacity to function as a normal human being on a shattered ankle without being on crutches is insane.
Yeah.
So to do it at a ridiculously high level to the point where you win a gold in the Olympics against the best in the world is crazy. So yeah, so again, just what we're highlighting is essentially any false movements or slight changes in your landing, or your lack of being focused or driven to do the moves that you do, which already people can't do in the world, to then have that issue where that could be a potential problem, not being able to complete it. Yeah, I'm not surprised that she stepped away, and like I said, it's 100%, I support her decision to get herself right. And she actually did come back and perform too in a later event, which we'll talk about in a future day in this kind of rundown of the Olympics. But
Yeah.
yeah,
No, 100%. We
so this
definitely went in on that perception as well, and it still maintains to be the same as now.
yeah,
It's just it's hilarious. Again, the crossover. I really want to see the Venn diagram of those people. The people who are one going to get mad and then also just be like, "Damn it, you got to be out there. They can't lose to a Russia in
I know it's
gymnast."
unfortunately with social media and everything, it's always the silent majority and then the vocal minority that is talking, and that's how it always is, especially with social media, because people just have this weird, like, idea of like that I can suddenly say whatever I want because I'm behind a computer screen, and then you get some just ridiculous things said like that.
Yeah.
It just, when they were disappointed that the team lost to Russia and ended up as a silver instead of gold, and people were like, we would have won gold if she had participated. And it's like, okay, all right, like, calm down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And then we go on to day 8.
day 8, Dressel and Ledecky basically represent the craziness of day 8, which is that both of them dominated. They both showed why they're both the best swimmers in the world right now at their sport. And I it's like I said, it's a running theme with Ledecky as well as now with Dressel, especially in this Olympics particularly, where both of them are just incredible athletes and are just icons of their sport and are going to dominate their sport no matter what. And that's just the way that it is. And they're probably the best, like I said, probably the best female and probably the best male athletes right now in swimming competition in the world. And so yeah, just incredible performances on both ends. They both continue to win golds, and Dressel, like I said, has totaled 5 golds already in this Olympics, and he got a couple of them on that day. So
Yeah.
just continuing again to dominate.
Yeah.
So
Crazy.
yeah, and like I said, swimming is one of those sports that, because of Michael Phelps, has really become a very popular one in America, at least. And I know it's obviously popular elsewhere in the world, but it's one of those where, like, in America, there's so many sports, and we have the NFL, we have baseball, and all these sports that don't exist elsewhere too, and everything, that we're not like as privy to some of the other sports that you may see, such as marksmanship and
Fencing.
fencing and things like that other countries do. So swimming has become a very popular one. So these two being at the top of their game and being at the top of the swimming world is insane and awesome to watch. And again, it's part of the reason why the Olympics is so fun to watch, because you get stuff like that. So 2 Americans dominated their heats going on to the finals in the hurdles. One of them being McLaughlin, who I think is appearing in her 5th Olympics. I think it was. This is her 5th Olympics. So
Okay.
pretty experienced, pretty good at the whole running thing,
Right.
obviously. Hence why she's in her 5th Olympics. And she was competing against another American in Cockrell, who is also somebody who is supposed to be, again, one of the best hurdlers and runners in the world. And they both really dominated and showed out in their 2 races that they were performing in. And I believe, I don't know if the championship occurred today or has yet, but they both, were performing exceptionally well, and I believe are both qualified for the final. So,
Yeah. Nice.
yep. All right. And then we move on to day 9. We're getting there. We're almost there. Today's day 12, so we got 3 more days to go through. Day 9, day 10, day 11. Day 9 is where Dressel finished basically his epic performances that he's been having. Dressel goes for 5 and makes it 5 golds, and one of those where he's, I think, one of the only athletes in history, along with like Michael Phelps, to win that many golds in one performance at the Olympics. So obviously etching his name in the history books and forever in pop culture and American culture. Because like I said, there's no doubt in my mind that I'm going to see this man on so many commercials in the future for whatever product. I mean, this guy could probably sell me some, like, I don't even know. He could probably whatever you tell me. He could tell me like literally anything. It'd be like a toothpaste, and I'd be like, yeah, that guy's cool. I'll buy that for sure. Like
Yeah.
that's
Down with it.
so. Yeah, you just look at that man, and I just go, yeah, I'll buy what you're selling, whatever it is. I don't even care. So,
Yeah. No, he's
um,
definitely got to look for it. I wouldn't be surprised to see that.
oh, he's
pop up.
he's a very good looking guy too. So that's going to play heavily into his ability to get so many different sponsorships and, you know, different endorsements and things in the future. I guarantee he's going to be in commercials, no doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
So, and then a big part of day 9 was Jamaica's absolute dominance in the Olympics, led by their number 1 runner and a person defending both of her 100 and 200 meter titles in the Olympics is the Jamaican runner by the name of Thompson-Herah, who set her set an Olympic run record this year in the 100-meter dash, her own record that she broke from the previous year. So, you know, just improving upon the greatness that she already is and already has. So
Right.
there's that. But yes, she literally dominated, and Jamaica continues to dominate the 100 and 200 meter dashes. They finished 1, 2, 3 in the 100 meter dash, gold, silver, bronze. So,
Wow.
yeah, the absolute dominance. And I'm pretty sure I saw a thing that was like, since like 1992 or something, they've won like almost all of the medals that were like could be awarded, like Jamaicans have won or something like that. It was something crazy stat line like that, where they've had just an unbelievable dominance over the last like 3 or 4 Olympics.
Wow. Yeah.
So, yeah, just an incredible performance by her. And then another really cool, fun, unique story that people aren't going to hear on, you know, the normal mainstream, but her name is Sanders. Her nickname is literally the Hulk because she is an incredible, just incredibly strong performer she was in this Olympics, because she ended up winning gold. And not only did she win gold in shot put, but she also won gold in the after performance and celebration, because she literally just like used the winning gold as like just a runway for like epic, you know, coolness. Whatever you could do to be the coolest possible. That's what she did basically to celebrate her gold medalist. And
Yeah.
it was awesome. And of course, like a name again that like I've never heard before, but like I'm gonna remember the Hulk
A
from that
terrifying
point.
picture.
It's
That's crazy.
that's an intimidating, incredible photo for somebody who was like a lot of fun after she won too. And it was really, like I said, really cool to see her win, and awesome for the United States and great for her. And she's definitely gonna be somebody I remember from the Olympics. And that's, if that was her goal or if it wasn't her goal, either way, she accomplished it, and it's awesome and good for her, really.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
another person that I wanted to highlight, I believe this is Kristen, right?
Yes.
Okay. This is insane. I heard this story. It was like mentioned briefly, like in like the thing, and I was like, I'm sorry, what? And I like hit rewind because I was like, did I hear that correctly? Yes, you heard this correctly when I say it. Kristen Palmer won bronze in her diving competition, in which she performed with a torn ACL.
Yeah, is that like a Philip Rivers situation where just like some people don't need it, or was she in like incredible amount of pain?
I don't know, dude. She was like, when she got out of the pool, she was like not using that leg, like limping over to like her coach. And I'm just
God.
like, participating in the Olympics with a torn ACL, and I was like, that
Madman.
can't be right. It can't be right, right? I didn't hear ACL, and I like rewinded like 20 seconds, and then
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, she performed with a torn ACL, and she ended up winning bronze. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? She won in a medal? Like,
Yeah.
performing in the Olympics with a torn ACL is one thing. Winning a medal while also having a torn ACL, oh my god! And they also said too she performed like one of the most difficult tricks like ever, and that's why she like won the or the bronze medal.
Yeah. The
So,
pain tolerance of some of the people,
oh my
especially, I don't know if
god,
injuries this year are just like an abnormal thing because of COVID and everything and not getting normal workouts, but I don't think I've heard this many times that people are just dying, like not dying. People are literally just like falling apart
yeah,
because
it's
they're all of
insane.
a sudden going from 0 to 100 and everything.
Yeah, I have no clue, but man, was it insane.
Yeah.
I just, yeah. Um, that was yeah. So that was day 9. One other thing too that I want to mention for day 9, really briefly. It's not something we need to like put up on anything, but another cool thing that happened on day 9 is in the high jump, the Venezuelan runner. I think was it Venezuela? No, I'm sorry. The Qatar and Italy representatives in the high jump ended up tying for the high jump for the gold, and they both like walked over and basically like accepted like the end, like they weren't gonna like continue to perform and like try, because like you'd have to like try to get the next height, and if neither of them can do it, then like that's it, you're just at the next height, like that's it, you
Yeah.
know. So they like went over and like both agreed that they were gonna have the gold together, which was like it's just a cool thing. It's just a fun like, you know, the Olympics are supposed to be about like everybody coming together and like countries and different cultures and different, you know, peoples coming together that normally wouldn't be in the same place or normally wouldn't be, you know, participating together in the same competitions, and they are in the Olympics, and that's what makes the Olympics great. So this is that like perfect story where you're like literally two people from two different countries, two worlds, two different civilizations, two languages came together, and one like decided together, they're like, you know what, we're gonna hold this gold medal together, it's gonna be me and you, and that's awesome. I love that. So
Yeah. No, that is cool. It's
it's just
rare to
a like
see
it's just
now.
a really, yeah, it's just a really cool headline for the Olympics, and that again, that was, you know, just a really cool way to wrap up day 9 that I saw as well.